What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Sports Sidebar Podcast. You're tuned in with your boy Rich, and I'm here with my buddies Tom and JD, and we're about to get this thing started. Let's go! All right, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Episode
Doing good,
20.
Rich. How you doing?
Oh man, doing fantastic, man. It's official. Finally, took down the trophy in Final Fantasy. I'm bugging. Fantasy football this year. I mean, it was tough.
It was a good win. You know, like you said, it was kind of some weird circumstances, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Tough way to go down, but I honestly think I still would have won just because Boyd got that touchdown early. So it was a lot of potential for him to get the over, and I was already up by like 50 points. So
yeah, I didn't. Like you said, who knows?
Yeah.
But it would have been a tough uphill battle for them for Cross.
Oh yeah, but hat goes off to him. Looking forward to next year. Definitely not gonna have the same team, but it's gonna be very interesting. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about yourself, man?
Yeah, doing all right. Took the big L in fantasy in my other league. Obviously, not in our league, but yeah, doing pretty good otherwise. Weather's nice down here. Been able to hit the range a couple times, in January, which is new for me. So yeah, all good.
Oh, nice. I know you guys again. Well, compared to up here, you guys have you guys are probably like in the 60s or something right now, right?
Yeah, mainly 60s. Might get a little cool on the weekend, but yeah, for the most part, in the high 50s, low.
Yeah, I wish you could stay that like around that temperature all the time.
Yeah.
As far as like the summer and stuff, but
can't have everything, Rich. Unless you move to San Diego, then you get that 75-degree weather all year round.
Yeah, but I feel like that and San Francisco is the only places that are pretty much like that. But at night it just gets super cold. But I don't mind the cold though.
Yeah, especially at night, it's not too bad.
Yeah. And then, man, let's get right into it. I mean, we had Week 18 in the NFL wrap up. Some teams punched their ticket to the playoffs. Some teams fell short. Some teams just didn't make it at all, man. Some teams are fighting for draft picks. So we had the Chiefs. They beat the Raiders, lock up the number 1 seed, and they get the bye. Not too much here. Like we said before, Chiefs were probably favored in the AFC between them and the Bills. And then as far as the Raiders, they're going to be rebuilding to see who they're going to get as quarterback because your boy Carr is not coming back. And I don't know if Daniels is going to be there next year either.
Yeah, I think McDaniels will be there. And I only say that because Mark Davis is, the rumor on the street is he's a little cash poor right now. So he doesn't want to pay. He's going to have to pay McDaniels if he fired him. I forget what his contract is, but it's got to be somewhere around 30-40 million, as well as paying another coach. So I don't see them firing McDaniels, at least not yet. They may give him another year or two.
They're still paying Gruden's contract.
Well, exactly. So now you'd be paying 3 coaches, which is like kind of absurd. High price coup, and that's all cash money. That's nothing you can defer or get out of. That's all guaranteed straight cash out of the pocket of the owner.
Straight cash, homie.
Which is usually it does play a difference. I mean, you see how Kraft manages Belichick and his staff over here. I mean, he probably says, "Hey, look, here's your limit. What you can pay your coaches. Here's what we're willing to pay the coaches, and you can then figure out who you're going to pay what, right?
Right.
Because again, it doesn't go against salary cap, so really it's just up to the owner. So yeah, I would think McDaniel's going to stay. I just don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I mean, do they really think that? And I don't know, maybe he is, but do they really think Jared Stidham's the guy? Or do they have other plans? Do they have can they get Tom Brady in there cheap? Can they get an Aaron Rodgers? Although that wouldn't be cheap because he's already got a guaranteed contract for next year. Because it sounds, like we talked a little bit about last week, Devontae Adams isn't going anywhere. He wants to stay. I think ultimately, at first he liked the idea because he's playing with his old friend Carr, but for whatever reason he wants to stay in Las Vegas. So
yeah, that's gonna be a big question.
Curious.
It's going to be a big question at that quarterback position. it's going to be a bunch of quarterbacks swapping teams this offseason. So that's going to be one of the spicy things about the offseason. So
yeah, that's the thing that I'm looking forward to is because and it should happen. I don't think it's going to be as drawn out after the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be pretty quick this year. And Rodgers has already said after last night's game, he's going to decide fairly quickly. He's just going to kind of let the loss sink in and figure out what he wants to do. But again, we've talked about this in the past. He's getting $59 million guaranteed. I just don't see him retiring, and I don't know how they can trade that contract or how they can move that contract at all.
Can they do no, I don't think they like how the NBA does like those trade resigns, like the sign and retrade, the resign and trade deals. They don't really do that in NFL.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think they can do that. Not with the way his contract is set up. I have to look at it. I think it's just a ton of dead money if they trade him. Because I think they could ultimately move the money, right? I don't think that would be a problem. Someone would eventually pay him, or they could figure that piece out. I think it's the dead cap for him. So yeah, next year his dead cap hit is $99 million.
I mean, you might just have to bite the bullet on that one, man. And
so because of the way they structured his contract, his cash flow is $59 million next. Dead cap is $99, and then it drops significantly in 2024 to he's still making $49 million, but his dead cap would be $16.8. So I don't see it. I don't see it changing much. Or they could do one of those things where they like extend them for like pennies and draw out the contract or restructure. But yeah, it's madness.
Yeah, or they got to do one of those Baker deals where the team is willing to take on half that dead cap hit. So
yeah, they typically don't do that in the NFL.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
it's just I don't know why they don't do it. I think it's probably made to prevent stuff like that, so that if you want to trade for a guy, you're taking on everything. But yeah,
I'm sure they don't do it because it'll create trends. Because now players can, it makes players much more movable that are unhappy in certain situations. So I could definitely see why they don't do it.
Yep.
And then we had the Titans and the Jaguars. I mean, Jaguars got them old Titans up out of here. It was looking close. God damn. I'm glad can't believe TCU just do a pick. I'm glad we get to see a new
10 seconds behind you.
Oh, damn.
Actually less than that, like 5 seconds.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to see the up and coming Jags getting in. Kind of talked about it all fair. I'm looking forward to seeing their their growth for the next few years because they got Calvin Ridley for a 3rd round pick. So offensively, they're going to be one of those top teams, but we got to see if they can build that defense because that's going to be the main thing to help them make those runs in the playoffs because they can definitely keep a stranglehold in that division based off the young team they have now.
Yeah, I like where they're sitting. Again, Doug Peterson's a good coach, turned them around. Good quarterback. They kind of rebuilt that offensive line after Trevor Lawrence getting crushed last year. Skill players are solid. I think they could probably use another receiver or two. I just don't trust Zay Jones to be a the number 2 wide receiver. I think Christian Kirk obviously had a great year. Marvin Jones and company, but yeah, if they could get some more talent on the in the receiver department, I think that could be a dangerous team moving forward. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looks legit.
Yeah, I feel like they just need another receiver, a tight end, and then beef up that offensive line, and then pretty much everything else is just defense. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that old Jaguars defense was one of my favorite defenses to play in Madden with Big old Henderson. And then I forget who the other D tackle was. They both were like 6'7". They had a good corner. What was his name? Oh, it'll come back to me. This was before like Jalen Ramsey and all of them got there.
Yeah, I honestly haven't really paid much attention to the Jaguars.
Yeah, Marcus Stroud, John Henderson. Who was their corner? Rashawn Mathis. They had like 4 or 5. They have like four or five. Yeah, they have 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers on that defense. and that's when Brian Leftwich was the quarterback. That was low key. That was low key my team there, man.
Fred Taylor.
Yep.
Running back.
Yep. Fred Taylor, Jimmy Smith. That was low key my team right there, man. They just couldn't get it done though. It was because they had Peyton Manning in that division. It was just too much.
Yeah, I mean that was a tough division to be in.
Then we had the Ravens and the Bengals. Bengals take care of business. They get the home field advantage against the Ravens, so they don't got to flip no coins. For me, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because they're playing each other again next week. If Lamar's coming back or not.
Yeah, the story keeps getting weirder. I mean, you were on this one early, and I don't know. I would kind of hesitated, but it does seem like something strange is going on there now, and I still don't think it's about the money, but maybe he just doesn't. He's just not thrilled with Baltimore in general, like the management.
Yeah, I know that's the thing, man. As I said, something's going on over there internally that they're not letting get out.
Yeah, because I feel like Harbaugh's press conferences get weirder and weirder. He's like, I don't know. Like, when is Lamar coming back? He's like, I don't know. I have no idea. It just
man,
seems so strange.
Yeah, it's definitely some strangeness going on over there, but we're gonna figure it out, man. We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
It would be nice to see him back in there this weekend and give Joe Burrow a run for his money.
That's gonna be the wild card in the AFC playoffs, man. So it's so many good quarterbacks in the AFC.
Oh yeah, the AFC playoffs are loaded. I mean, looking at obviously Mahomes and Allen, but then Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, just loaded. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, just ridiculously loaded on that in that respect.
Yeah, man. I was like, if I was a quarterback, I would definitely be going to the NFC right now.
Oh yeah. Get out of the AFC. The AFC is going to be. I mean, those are all two. Mahomes is the oldest guy in that crew, and the rest I think are they're younger than Stetson Bennett. So like between 21 and 24 years old. AFC is going to be tough for a while.
A very long time. Did you see? They asked Joe Burrow about his Super Bowl window.
Oh,
he said, as long as I'm here, man.
Yeah.
That was great.
Open as long as I'm playing.
That was great, man. You gotta love Joe, man.
Yeah, he's great. I love the bringing the cigar back too.
It's cool, Joe, man.
He's too cool. He's so cool.
And then we had the Steelers and the Browns. I mean, before that we got the Patriots and the Bills. Bills take care of business and knock out the Pats. Send Belichick and them going home. Didn't lock up the number one seed because the Chiefs won, but ultimately it's going to be the AFC East is going to be a tough division for you guys.
Yeah, just the same way we're talking about the AFC in general. The AFC East is up there. I mean, you got the Bills with Allen. You got potentially Dolphins with Tua, depending on his health, and then the Patriots are the Patriots, and yes, it's a tough division. It's gonna be hoping to get a wild card seed out of that, every once in a while. Yeah,
man, that's the thing, man. Hopefully, it's gonna come down to those defenses, man, and the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So whoever has the best defensive quarterbacks is going to be the one on top in our division.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe the Patriots. And they talk about the Patriots' defense like number one NFL. I was like, what the fuck?
Their defense had a good year. They I think they gave up some points, but they had timely turnovers, scored a lot of defensive touchdowns. They were solid.
Yeah, man. I was like, damn, my man Bill's still getting after him, man.
Mm-hmm.
He just got to figure out that offense, and they'll be right back in it.
Yep, he's coming back for another year. It'll be his 24th year, Patriots, and he'll be 71 next year when things kick off.
Hey, man, was Pete Carroll 71 too or 72? A year older?
72 or 73, yeah, something like that.
Hey, man, I mean, if you could do it as long as that, I mean, I would do it.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially a job like that. As stressful as it is, it could be a lot worse as far as the jobs you're stuck doing at that age. So then we had the Steelers and the Browns. Steelers actually went ahead and won this game, but they needed some help. But ultimately finished over 500, man. Looks like they got a lot to build on for next year. The Browns, on the other hand, kind of a struggling season for them. It's going to be interesting to see if they can put together some kind of cohesiveness on offense and defense because they got a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to the playoff point with the Steelers, anytime you're banking on the Jets to help you get anywhere, you should know you're in trouble right away. So obviously the Steelers fans were rooting for the Jets to beat the Dolphins, and clearly they haven't been watching the Jets long enough to know that was not going to happen, even with Skylar Thompson in Miami. So. But yeah, I was a little down on Pittsburgh. I didn't think that they had really a great team outside of maybe T.J. Watt and a couple of receivers, and Najee Harris kind of got off to a slow start. Didn't seem like they really knew what to do at quarterback, and then
I think Pickens helped them.
Yeah, I think Pickens turned it up, and then Pickett was basically I feel like he showed that he can play the position at a high level and not phased by the big moments and all the stuff you want in a starting quarterback, especially as a rookie. So I do like where they're going. They got a lot of young players on offense, and if they can outside of Minka Fitzpatrick and a few others on T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, if they can get a little bit younger on defense, I think that's a team to watch out for. And obviously with Tomlin, he's 16th year in the league, 16th winning season or non-losing season.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty incredible. I think he's up in the top, close to the top 15 in wins all time now. Just putting together, even I think he's only like 52, 51, 52. Just putting together, quite the resume. And although people always kind of just assume Pittsburgh's going to be good, I think it's just kind of shocking when you see the actual numbers that they're as good as they are.
Yeah, man, it was very consistent. I mean, and they're one of those teams that haven't really had a bunch of different quarterbacks come through here and there, like some of these other teams. I mean, they pretty much had like maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks.
They're pretty stable. I mean, the franchise as a whole is, I think, over the 60 years has been fairly stable.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. When you're stable at that quarterback position, it helps a lot of other positions, as well as the direction of the team. When you don't got to be worrying about trying to find a quarterback every year, because that's one of the most important positions on the team. So,
absolutely, 100%.
Then we had the Vikings and the Bears. Not too much here. Vikings take care of business, but we're going to see what happens when they get to the playoffs because they've been struggling. Either stop teams and offensively, if they don't get if their offense doesn't get going early, it's going to be a game over for them.
Yeah, it's. I think they were holding something back, against the Bears. I don't think they felt like that they needed to really pull out any big stops there. But like you said, I think it'll come to show when they get in there and they got, who are they playing? They're playing
Giants first.
Oh, they're playing the Giants. Yeah, I mean
maybe next round.
The Giants are a little bit over their heads probably there, but I don't know. Who knows? Getting to these games, Kirk Cousins can tighten up. They tend to just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like you rely on Justin Jefferson all year and then like go away from him when you need him. I'll never understand that. So maybe they don't do that, and maybe they pound it with Cook and get Jefferson open down the field, and then you use your Hawkinson, Thielen, KJ Osborne as ancillary targets. But I don't know. We'll see how Kirk looks. You probably know within the first quarter or probably first series, how it's going to look for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, that's one of those teams we're gonna have to wait and see who shows up.
For sure.
Then we had the Jets versus the Dolphins. I mean, Dolphins sneak by. I thought that you guys had them, man. It was pretty much held them pretty much to nothing. A bunch of field goals. I thought you guys wanted to put them out, man.
Yeah, I didn't. So I'm glad you had faith in them. I felt like they were going to lose this game, but I think they had some bright spots and some glaring holes that we found out through the year. Again, need to get healthy on the offensive line, get Becton and AVT back, and then hopefully Breece Hall's ready to go next year, and that offense definitely looks different when he's in it. But on the upside, Quinnen Williams was awesome. He should get a nice deal this offseason. And Gardner and Wilson, your other 2 rookies, I thought looked fantastic. So some good spots, but again, the glaring weakness is still there in the quarterback. And what are we going to do moving forward there? So a lot of rumors coming out. I know Woody Johnson not happy obviously, as the owner, being out of the playoffs for 12 years. So he'll be, he likes to make the big splash. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a veteran quarterback that they sign on a short-term deal, like a Garoppolo or someone like that of that stature, or trade.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting to watch to see what's going on. I mean, as far as free agent wise, I mean, I don't think this will happen, but for some reason, if Baltimore does not re-sign Lamar Jackson, he'll be out there. Outside of that, there's a bunch of free agents. I mean, you got Tom Brady. I don't know if you guys will want him, but ultimately, there's it's a decent amount of free agents out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely make an impact. If we have to wait and see who gets tagged, who doesn't, because so many teams are not going to let these guys hit the market. So
yeah, for sure.
And then we had the Giants versus the Eagles. Wasn't too much here. Giants really didn't show up because they pretty much locked into the same spot. Eagles needed to win to lock up the bye, which they got. I don't even know who the Giants had out at quarterback. I was like, who is that? Who is that?
Oh, Davis Webb.
Yeah, I was like, what?
they drafted him forever ago.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, did they just pick him up? What's going on, man? I recognize none of these players, but ultimately everybody's rested up and they're ready for the Vikings come next week. So definitely a team we could beat, but we're gonna have to run the ball a lot, and we're gonna have to get to the quarterback. So
yeah, for sure, it's you got your work cut out for you. That's apparent, but knew that going in. You knew that the top end of the NFC is tough. So.
Oh yeah. Let's say ultimately, win or lose, still happy but from the season we had, but ultimately it's not going to be. I don't think I'm not expecting too much, but looking forward to the game.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, you got a good coach, so that's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've been dreading since Coughlin left. So
mm-hmm.
Then we had the Cowboys and the Commanders. Your boy Dak throws a pick six. Should have been two back to back, but he dropped one. But I mean, I can't trust the Cowboys, man. This is why, man.
I don't trust them either. They're favorites going into. I think they would be playing Sunday. Yeah, they're Monday night, right?
Monday night, yeah.
Night. I mean, they're the favorites. Brady's never lost to the Cowboys. I'm with you. I don't trust. The defense is fine. I just don't trust the offense. Dak's made some terrible throws over the last handful of weeks. Terrible decisions, and I just they could win by 30 or they could lose by 30, and it could be anywhere between that. I just don't never know what Cowboys team is going to show up, but it definitely hinges on that offense.
That's the thing. They're kind of like Jacqueline Hyde sometimes, just not very reliable, man. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the downfall of them more than anything. So get these Cowboy fans out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fans are the worst part of it.
Then we had the Lions and the Packers. You thought your boy Aaron Rodgers was going to sneak in the playoffs, but the Lions had something to say about that, man.
Even though I thought he'd sneak into the playoffs, I thought that they would get destroyed in the first round against a really, really good San Francisco team. But, oh my God, another interception. Jesus. Good Lord. TCU's ruined it for all the smaller schools out there. Also, how bad was Michigan if they lost to TCU? Anyway, yeah, I thought they'd sneak in. I thought their defense again still played well last night. Their offense obviously didn't show up. Some really bad penalties. I think I fell asleep during the early in the fourth quarter, but Detroit they looked like the team that was playing for their playoff lives as opposed to not playing for anything. I really wish that the Seahawks lost so that the Lions could have been in, because I think at least Lions San Francisco would have been entertaining for a little while.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like this is good for the Lions. They've been fighting. They've been fighting the stigma of being a losing franchise the past I want to say 12 years, something crazy like that. I mean, and this is them moving in the right direction despite people were not too high on their quarterback and their head coach, and then some of the other pieces they have. But I mean, they're putting it together, man.
Yeah, I definitely question the head coach and the quarterback. they've proven to be a good duo. I mean, the coach has them obviously playing well, and the quarterback has been he's driven that whole offense. They got the weapons. Obviously the defense played better in the second half of the year. Probably still need some help there, but this is gonna be a popular pick next season to win the NFC North. I would imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if Rodgers leaves that division. So
yeah, for sure.
Then we got the playoffs kicking off this week. I mean, we got games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So pretty much, we got the AFC side. We got the Chiefs on the bye. We got the Dolphins versus the Bills. I don't know about you, but I'm probably going to be rolling with the Bills on that one. I don't think the Dolphins have enough to beat the Bills, and I'm still not sold on Tua being fully healthy. So.
Yeah, I mean, as of today, McDaniel said he's still in concussion protocol, so won't find out anything until Wednesday at the earliest. But I think even if he's in there, I don't think they beat that Buffalo team up in Buffalo.
Oh no, definitely not. Especially not with that weather.
No.
I feel like there's going to be too much. Then we got we're going to have the Chargers versus the Jaguars. That should be an interesting game. Two young quarterbacks going at it, trying to make a name for themselves. I don't know, man. I'm going to stick with the Jags on this one, man.
Yeah, I like the Chargers, but I want to go back to something we missed earlier. Why was Brandon Staley playing all these guys? Like I kept turning, I had it on Red Zone, and I just kept coming back. I'm like, why is Keenan Allen playing in the fourth quarter of this game? Like, does Staley not realize that his team is just like a potential injury waiting to happen? And Mike Williams got carted off with a back injury. They said he couldn't walk to the bus. Like, I didn't understand what that was all about. Like, I get playing him a couple series, whatever, but with the way that this team gets injured, I would have had them on the bench as soon as possible. And I know you can only dress 53 guys or whatever, and what you can only have so many people on your roster. I get that, but you got to keep Eckler, Herbert, Williams, Allen, Bosa. You got to keep those guys healthy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe some of those guys wanted to play out for some season-ending stats. That sometimes people try to play for those bonuses, but I mean, ultimately, you got to do the right thing and sit those guys, man. Those guys have been beat up all year. You need them healthy for the playoffs, especially if you want to make a run, especially against some of these teams in the AFC. So.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Ravens and the Bengals. We mentioned it before. It's going to be the wild card to see if Lamar plays or not. Even if he does, I think the Bengals still going to pull it out. I think they just have so much confidence in themselves that they're looking to get right back to the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, I like the way Cincy played down the stretch. I mean, I think they one of the last 7 or 8? Not counting the Buffalo game, but like you said, the path is there. That they'll have to go up into Buffalo. My guess is if they want to get through, they'd play Buffalo round 2. But yeah, I mean, first things first, take care of business, and Baltimore's kind of had their number over the last couple of years. So we'll see what happens and if Lamar's in or not. But Baltimore rested a bunch of guys to be healthy and ready for this.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely gonna be a good game. But like I said, I just think I think the Bengals want to pull it out. I feel like they're much more healthy. I just feel like they're much more healthier team, a lot more weapons, and the Ravens don't play good when it's a high scoring game. And the fact that Lamar's been out for so long is going to be interesting to see if he has any rhythm with some of the receivers.
Yeah.
Then on the NFC side, like we said, we got the Eagles. They're getting a bye. We got the Seahawks versus the 49ers. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to skip this game, man.
It's the 4:30 Saturday game.
I don't think it's going to be much of a match for. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a match for the 49ers.
I don't either. I think if you're the 49ers, you're just trying to get out of this game healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I figure they're going to run the ball a lot. Keep the Seahawks offense off the field, eat up the time of possession, and then their defense is going to be getting after it. So. Then we have the Giants and the Vikings. I'll be watching this one just to see how the Giants do. Like I said, it's definitely a team we could beat, but the only way we could do it is if we control the time of possession, we run the ball well, and we get to the quarterback because we don't have really much of a secondary to defend those group of receivers that they have. So
Yeah, that's the tough part with Minnesota. They just have a lot of options. Is on target.
Oh yeah, and then Monday night game we got Tampa versus the Cowboys. I don't want to say it, man, but Tampa might be heating up, getting ready for this the playoffs.
I could talk myself into Tampa in this game for sure. Like we talked about the Cowboys. I just unimpressed by the way Dak's been playing down the stretch here, and like you said, I think that Tampa's kind of turning around a little. They're getting healthier. Ryan Jensen and Tristan Wirfs on the O line should be back, and Evans looks better. Obviously Godwin has looked good. Fournette should be healthy, so I do like Tampa in this game.
Oh yeah, like I said, and then we can get these Cowboy fans out of here, man. And they're gonna be talking about next year. Next year is our year. And then outside of that, I mean, your boy Cliff Kingsbury gets fired from the Cardinals. Something I think that was a long time coming. Just seems like they're kind of misguided over there on the offense and defense. So I'm surprised he got the job in the first place, but obviously, wasn't much of a great hiring as they still have been struggling.
Yeah, I think they did some nice things early on, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think it wore out. It didn't age well. Obviously, his relationship with Kyler Murray deteriorated, and then yeah, I mean, someone's got to someone's going to take the fall, and you can't fire 53 players, right? We always say that.
Yeah.
So the coach and was the one to go, and the GM stepped aside. So be a whole new regime in Arizona. It looks like they're going to solicit Kyler Murray for some input. I don't always agree with that, but he seems like a little bit of a baby. So if this makes him happy and he feels like he's being heard, I think it's worth it. Especially if you're paying him $180 million over the next 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah, you gotta get somebody in there that's gonna put make the quarterback look like the quarterback who he's being paid as. So then on to the NBA. Not too much here. Your boy LeBron sent a statement to management, pretty much saying, you guys take care of the roster. I'll take care of it on the court, which he's been doing. He's been playing great. Lakers are almost at 500 with no Anthony Davis. They got a bunch of guys that are playing their heart out, LeBron included. I mean, he's pretty much been averaging like the past few games, like 30 plus and 8-8, which is ridiculous at his age. But ultimately, yeah, they're gonna need to make that move, man. To trade some of those pieces away.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't he kind of realize that this is his making? I mean, they had Kuzma and other players there, and he basically forced their hand to trade him away. I mean, I don't know, just his shtick gets old after a while for me. Now I'm doing everything I can. I need you guys to give me players. Well, the last time we did that, we basically tanked the franchise because we had no depth, and we had Anthony Davis getting hurt and Russell Westbrook being trash. So like, I don't know. If I'm Lakers front office, I'm like, you do the playing, we'll take care of the front office. Just leave it to us. We're not going to mortgage 2027 and 2029 when you're not even playing.
It's a lose-lose situation on both sides. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So
sure.
I mean, ultimately, the franchise is going to have to do what's in their best interest, just to prepare for when he leaves. Because obviously, when he leaves, you're going to be in a stacked West without much help. I mean, you got another superstar in Anthony Davis who's barely healthy. Westbrook, who's probably going to be not even on the team anymore in the next year or two. So nothing really. No real draft picks, right? Enough to another 27 and 29. So another 4 years. You can't really afford to tank. So it's not really much you can do, man.
I know they're in a tough spot, but again, they put themselves there. And the other thing too is like, what's to say Anthony Davis is even there in 2027, right? I mean, after LeBron, either leaves or retires, what's it to say that Anthony Davis doesn't try to work his way out of there too?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, you can't even afford to tank. Because I mean, you're tanking, you're giving away top picks to other teams. I mean, they're pretty much gonna go buck wild in free agency. You have to spend money to keep the franchise afloat and relevant. But it's gonna be hard in the West for them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got your Celtics in first place, man, in the East, best record in the NBA. How you feeling about your team, man?
Yeah, I mean, I like where they're at. Again, they do tend to go through some of these stretches where it looks like they forget how to play basketball. But I think overall, you got to be happy, especially after a deep run last year, and Tatum's playing MVP caliber basketball. Him and Jalen have just been awesome. Mark Smart's hurt right now, but I think he'll be all right. But bringing Rob Williams back, huge for them, especially when they play the likes of Giannis and Bam and I think he just adds a defensive force in there. And their role players a little bit better now. I think they went through a lull, and Missoula kind of called them out and say, "Look, starters are doing their job. You guys got to pick them up when you're in there," because they have been losing a lot of leads in the late first, early second, and then into the late third period. So I think it just a little bit of a wake up call, but yeah, I mean can't complain where they're at. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to seeing how the year plays out. I mean we got the Knicks in 7th place. Hopefully, they can notch up another spot or two, so they're not stuck playing that playing game.
Mm-hmm.
On the West, I mean, not too much. A lot of teams are close. We got Denver in the first place. Who would you go for your midseason MVP right now?
Oof, man, it's hard. It's hard. I mean,
you're going to say Tatum, so just give me your take on Tatum, man.
Well, how do you not take Jokic? I mean, they're the best team in the West. He's having an even better season than he was having last year. I think that's kind of not that it's an issue, but like when a guy's having a season like that and they're in first place, and his numbers are better, like how do you not pick him for MVP? But I'd say it's between Jokic and Tatum right now for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely is. Felt like Tatum's taking it up to another level.
He is.
I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of stuff. He seems easier this year for him, but hopefully it's just not like he doesn't gas out or anything like that, or get cold towards the playoff time. Definitely want to see him turn it up to another level come playoff time, even though it's probably gonna be hard. I mean, it's crazy how you tell somebody, hey, you average like 30 points a game, I need you to turn it up to another level. But hey, he's all about the Mamba mentality, so he has it in him, man. But definitely looking forward to seeing him carry a team back to the finals and for him to finally get one. But then, Joe, like we said, Joke on the other side, damn near averaging a triple-double at the center position, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets another MVP, he's like one of like 4 or 5 players that have like more than 2. So I mean, you can't. As much as people try to argue between him and Embiid being the best big, I mean, you got to give it to him. He's the one that's more healthy, and some of the numbers he's putting up is crazy, man. Even though I feel like if you had a healthy Embiid, he would definitely be. I would probably take him over Joker, but I mean, he just can't stay healthy, man. The best ability is, like they say, is availability, and he's been available with on that team, man.
Yep.
I would throw Zion in the mix too, but he can't stay healthy, man. But but I mean, he's getting in his NBA shape. A few less injuries this year. This team's definitely up there in the West. They're like second right now. So, but he's got to stay healthy as well. So
yeah, I think having CJ McCollum there has really helped him. Takes a bit of a load off. I know BI's been out, but yeah, that's I watched a little bit of that game against the Nets the other night. They have a good team, man. If they can get healthy, that's a
yeah, and they got a lot of damn draft picks too. So man, that's another thing that's going to help them as well. It's going to give them extra pieces to trade away and not feel a dent. Ultimately, those guys got to stay healthy. So I mean, if they can stay healthy, they're going to put them in a better position to win.
So it's just the name of the game, in all these sports. Is if if your stars are healthy and playing well, you got a chance.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then who would you say is one of your disappointments for the season? Like for mid-season disappointment, who's been disappointed so far?
Disappointment. Give me yours. Who's your big disappointment so far? I got to think about this. Wasn't prepped for that.
I don't know, man. My disappointment. I would say the Warriors. Coming off the championship year, even though Steph's been out the past few games, I expect them to play a lot better. But maybe we kind of expected too much from the young people too soon. So
yeah, I'm not counting them out until Steph comes back. I mean, they're in 6th, 6.5 games back on the Nuggets. I agree. I think I feel like Jordan Poole hasn't had as good of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond's kind of disappeared, and Clay's been actually really good, but without Steph there, they've been struggling. Yeah, like Kuminga hasn't done much, and those guys, they've been quiet. Actually, who's been a disappointment as a whole to me is the Timberwolves. I thought they were going to be awesome. I thought with adding Rudy Gobert to that, Anthony Edwards and Cat, and they just for me haven't lived up to it.
I know. I mean, Cat's been out, but still, I feel like when he was there, it just doesn't gel. It's just kind of off. I felt like they overpaid for Rudy Gobert as well. But I thought they would be a lot better defensively with Rudy there because it'll keep Cat out of the middle and he can do some other things. But we're gonna have to wait and see, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then who are some of your mid-season shockers, like people you were surprised about?
I'd say the rookie from Indiana, Ben Mathurin. Indiana, right?
Yep.
I think Mathurin's been awesome. I thought he'd be pretty good, but I think he's playing above his shoes a little bit, which is great for them. Averaging 17 a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Halliburton have been great for the Pacers. I don't think. I mean, I don't know what people thought the Pacers were going to be, but I think that they've played well. I know he's a good player, but I've been impressed with how Kyrie's come back this year. He's playing well, and then obviously the Kings team is a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Oh yeah, definitely mine would be Halliburton leading the lead in assists. Knicks missed that pick, but hey, we needed a point guard. Still ended up not getting one that year. Then ended up trading or get one in free agency. But ultimately, could have had a young point guard. Could have been leading the lead in assists right now. And then your boy Buddy Hield is leading the lead in 3-pointers made. I mean, even though Steph's been out, that was another one. I'm surprised they were willing to trade him to the Lakers at all, being the young roster they have. Your boy Shea Gilchrist Alexander, man, averaging averaging over 30 points a game, going buck wild. I mean, if I was the Clippers, I'd take that trade back for him for Paul George, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I did not see him doing what he's doing now. Definitely, showing out. I mean, that's another young team too. The Thunder, man. They got about 99 more draft picks coming up, and they got a lot of young talent on that team.
That team's gonna be good. Give them a couple years, get them gelled. SGA looks like a stud. You'll get Holmgren back. You'll have another top pick this year. I think they're going to be a really good team in the next couple of years if they can get these guys playing well and keep them on contracts.
Yeah, that's the thing. They might be looking at another repeat of the OKC team when they had all those young players, with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. But I feel like they could do it better, with all these picks they have and the potential talent coming up. So, I mean, we got college football championship going on. TCU getting smacked up by Georgia. Nothing else to say about that, man.
No, beat down.
Yeah, going into halftime right now. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think TCU comes back from this, man.
No, I don't think there's a chance.
You wanna get into PGA?
Yeah, we had the first tournament of the year. Century Tournament of Champions. Small field. It's out at Kapalua in Hawaii. Beautiful course. I think it's one I'd throw it on like the Saturday and Sunday morning to watch the replay from the night before. Just the views there are just like stunning. It's overlooking the ocean, but then you got the mountains in the background. It's a really cool course. A couple pretty notable holes there, especially number 18. It's a long par 5, but it's all downhill and kind of turns to the left a little. And it's like there's been some good moments there with Tiger and some other guys. Bubba Watson hitting driver off the deck. Some cool stuff, but. It looked like Colin Morikawa was gonna run away with it. He was up 8 after he birdied 1 on Sunday, and he's one of these guys. I think that when he gets a lead, he puts it away, and so it was very uncharacteristic. He made some mistakes. John Rahm obviously played really well. He was shooting 10 under on Sunday. He came back and won it by a couple strokes. But this was the first of those elevated tournaments, so. Rahm took home $2 million, and last place finisher, I forget who it was, still took home $220,000. So I think all in all, I think everyone who was in the tournament, it was only 39 players, a smaller field, was making good money, having a nice time in Hawaii, and able to play a nice course. But we're on the Sony Open this week, and then again we'll the West Coast swing. We'll start up here in a couple weeks up to California coast, but they're getting some tough weather over there right now, so it'll be interesting to see how the courses hold up.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely about to hit you up about on the next big one to see because I hit a few of those when you gave me your prediction of who you thought was going to win.
Yeah, I'll start giving you some more names to throw out there on some of these other tournaments, but Sony's it's a little diluted for me, but after that there's some tournaments we can get into, like the Waste Management and some other ones, Farmers Insurance and Torrey Pines. So I'll keep you abreast.
And if I don't win, I'm gonna send you that that meme when he says when your man told you the parlay was guaranteed. Just looking at him.
I like that one.
Outside of that, I mean, we got college basketball getting ready to ramp up. March Madness getting closer and closer. On the men's side, I mean, we got the top 4 teams: Houston, Kansas, and then Purdue and Alabama. I mean, Houston slipped back up to number 1 since Purdue lost. I mean, they're pretty much led by Jarace Walker. He'll probably be a lottery pick this year. Kind of Paul Millsap-ish. So big power forward that can shoot the 3 and do a bunch of different things. Then they got a decent point guard in Marcus Sasser. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain that spot come the tournament. And then on the other side, you got Kansas. They're always in the mix. Got some draft prospects over there. Potential lottery picks in Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson. So then on the other side, Alabama, they have a few. They got Brandon Miller. It's kind of like Rudy Gay. Gayish, then Danny Granger, that 6'8" small forward that can shoot, athletic, can get to the hole. And then there's a few other teams up there too, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the majority of the freaking lottery picks are gonna be coming from Arkansas, which is kind of crazy. There's them, and they got like 4 players in the lottery. Probably gonna have like 4 or 5 players in the lottery outside of Victor. He'll probably go 1, and then Scoots will be 2, and then there'll be a bunch of those Arkansas players, like 1 kid from Duke, and then like 1 or 2 other G leaguers. So, but definitely looking forward to picking the brackets and seeing people's brackets get busted.
This is when it gets good, when they start the conference play. I always enjoy those battles. Even with UMass, the A10 teams that they're playing, and obviously down here with Duke and North Carolina playing in the ACC. Just some good. Some good rivalries there and some fun basketball. Obviously, the crowds of college basketball are awesome.
Oh yeah, the fans are hilarious too, man. But I mean, on the men's side, it's going to be hard to pick I don't think there's going to be a clear-cut favorite. On the women's side, I mean, how could you not go with South Carolina, man? I mean, led by Aaliyah Boston and Zaya Cook. I mean, they're still undefeated, man. They have an interesting game coming up in February when they're playing LSU. It's going to be another undefeated team in the SEC because they got Angel Reese over there. She's over there killing it, averaging like 20 and 13. But ultimately, it's going to be they're probably going to be the heavy favorite going into the tournament. Outside of them and Stanford, which is the number 2 team in women's basketball. And then you got Ohio State. UConn's up there, but, UConn's out some players. Paige is not there this year. She tore ACL. But, I mean, they picked up some good transfers, but they'll be right in the mix. And then LSU is right behind them. So definitely looking forward to, March Madness.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. We got another edition of JD's Bites and Brew. What you got for us?
All right, so I did a sweet potato, sausage, and spinach soup today. Obviously, it's being winter time and soup season. Figured I'd toss it in there. So this one's actually pretty easy. It's a 1 pot. I got some andouille sausage and some chorizo, and cut that up, put it in the pot with a little bit of oil, get that browned up and nice and cooked through, and then added a cut onion, a diced onion into that. Again, let that all mix up, and then added got some chicken bone broth from Trader Joe's, and a sweet potato I diced into like half-inch cubes. So put that in there with some paprika, some garlic, a little cayenne, and some salt and pepper. Mix that all together. Got it to a nice boil, and simmered it for about 20 minutes or so. And then to thicken it up, use some nutritional yeast and some coconut milk, and then added in the spinach. You could chop it or not, but I would suggest chopping it just because it doesn't wilt as well in the soup. So then just kind of let that all sit together for like 15, 20 minutes, and it's ready to go. Poured it in the bowl, and then topped it with a little Parmesan cheese on top.
Oh, nice, man. I mean, you hit it with the parm, man. I mean, that's definitely sounds like a go-to right there.
Yeah, it was good. It was again, it was a little chilly today, or at night, so a nice warm soup, always good in the wintertime.
Awesome, man. And what'd you guys drink that down with?
So this week I got it's called comes from Fontaflora. It's a brewery again out in the Morganton, North Carolina. They have a spot up in uptown in Charlotte, but it's one of the seltzers that they make there. It's called Topsy seltzer, and it's a cranberry and lime version. So typically I'm not a huge like cranberry seltzer fan. I think that especially when they're like super carbonated, I don't know. I don't really enjoy the flavor that much. These seltzers that they made or make are very light. They still have the 5% ABV, but they have, for whatever reason, they're just like not as carbonated as like the White Claws or the Trulies. So they're actually like much easier to drink, and I felt like it was like a much more flavorful seltzer than I would normally get. Because I feel like some of that carbonation just kind of takes away the flavor a little bit. You're kind of just like hit with the bubbles before, and the flavor dissipates before you can actually enjoy it. So this one was actually really good. I ended up buying a 4-pack and bringing them home because they were extremely tasty. Again, they had some other flavors. I think they had a peach with something else, but the cranberry lime one was the one I went to, and really enjoyed it. Really flavorful. Really hits you with the cranberry. Almost tastes like a Cape Codder, but without the hit of the vodka on the back end. So just like more of like a smooth, even just like a mocktail, like a cranberry lime, drink that you would have. So did really enjoy it. I'd probably give it like on the non-beer level, I'd probably throw it at like an 8.2.
Oh man, that's great, man.
It was that good.
That's a funny thing, man. When you start getting into these mixed drinks, they're so much more flavorful than beers, man. Sometimes.
Yeah, and typically I go to it in the summer times because they're lighter and easier to drink. But yeah, I think sometimes it's just nice to have a change up too. And you're right. I mean, the flavor, it's just different, right? Like if you like the beer taste, which a lot of these people that drink craft beers do, they still, and I think this is how it kind of all evolved. It started with like the IPAs, and then they got into the hazy IPAs, and then they got into the juicy IPAs. They got into sours, and now it's kind of like it's just so diversified out there now. You can kind of bounce around wherever you want. But ultimately, yeah, I think you're right. I think just having some of those different flavors is really nice.
Yeah, man. I feel like you can certain things. I feel like go with like everything. Like when it comes to those certain flavors, but then I feel like certain things have better combos than others, and I feel like it's good. I like making the mixed drinks because you get to experiment with different flavors, different types of beer, not beers, alcohols, and then sometimes you can just mix things. But you gotta be careful because some of these things might become sleepers where it tastes really good, but then you like 10 drinks in, not realizing you about to get hit with the smack of your life.
Oh yeah.
And then that's Jay's Bites and Brew, everybody. And then for the BRRs, not too much this week. Going through some movies. Checked out Pray for the Devil. It's pretty much like, one of those horror movies. It's about a nun who gets accepted into this like training program for priest to exorcise demons from people. And then I'm not gonna lie, man, it was kind of trash, man. wasn't really that scary. They didn't really give much story on the whole like thing. They were like all the years like 2099 and there's been an increase in exorcisms, and now the priests train for it, and one nun gets in and trains for it, and then but it was kind of trash, man. But they kind of set it up for another one, but it was just like I thought it'd be much cooler, more like The Conjuring. I thought it'd be a lot more scarier, but ultimately it was just all right, man. It's just really not one of those movies they'll go back to. You'll probably forget about even after you watch it. Gave it like a 5.8 out of 10. So definitely something you can skip, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna watch it.
Then I checked out The Menu. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like suspected what was gonna happen based off the previews, and exactly what I thought would happen happened. Well, not really. I think what I thought was gonna be better than what they showed, and then what they showed was less. So it's kind of about a bunch of people that get invited to like one of those super high end restaurants that are like on a secluded island with this great chef, and the chef is having them taste all this amazing food, but then eventually he goes crazy, and it ends up turning into a kill fest where people are dying and stuff like that. But I felt like the people that were there should have been fighting more to survive. I don't want to give it away, but it was all right, man. And then one of the people the girl gets away, and the way she gets away, man, it's kind of stupid, man. That's what I say. It was trash too, man. I'll probably give this one like a 5.9 or a 6 out of 10. It was like it had potential to be good based off of the chef going crazy and just, like trying to kill people. But like if the people like actually struggled and fought them and tried to do stuff instead of being wimps and just sitting there and taking it, and then the fact that one of the girls got away because of what she did and how she did it, while everybody else just sat there and watched her do it. And do you really want me to tell you, man?
Go ahead.
So
I'm not gonna watch it.
So the chef is, spoiler alert, right? If you want to watch the movie, don't listen, right? So the head chef, right? He's going crazy. He's killing people, right? He's having people taste like his food or whatever, and he's like, he has the people go outside and they have him. He has the other chefs chase him and beat him up. Then he has them come back in and like do all this other shit. And then eventually the girl's like trying to figure out how to get out. And then she like sneaks into his room, the head chef's room, and realizes he was a previous chef he used to work at a restaurant and made burgers. And then the head chef was making like all this exotic stuff. And she's like, oh, I want to put, all the food they bring out. He's like, I want to send it back. And kind of like she tugs at his like heartstrings and tells him to make her a burger. He makes her like a burger. She says like it's the greatest burger ever. And then he lets her go. And then everybody else is still standing there watching her. And then eventually they do like this big montage of a dish, but they do it with the people. They put them in like marshmallows and chocolate, and they decorate the plate with all that sauce and type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
They do that all on the floor, and then he sets himself on fire, and they all burn and die. And then she's just on the boat. She's just on the boat, going back home, eating a burger.
That actually seems kind of like amusing more than anything.
Yeah, it was just like, man, like it could have been so much better than this, but I mean. One of those things you can skip. If you're bored, you can check it out, but not something I would recommend. So
yeah.
Then still going through Andor, and then looking for some other movies to go through. But it's hard. Some of these movies are bad, man. that one was on HBO Max too. I was like, come on, HBO Max.
Yeah.
And you guys checking out anything good?
Not really. Watching second season of Ginny and Georgia.
Yeah, I didn't start that yet.
It's all right. There's a lot going on. And then what else we got? That's really it right now. Yellowstone's on hiatus. They're at the mid-season finale, which was slow again. One of the storylines about that I didn't care for, Jimmy, was back in it. So we'll see what that may end with me this season. It's maybe it for me if they can get some action going here. No, not really. I mean, the White Lotuses were good. Wednesday was good. Still want to watch that Oh, still working through Severance. Michelle gave up. She's out. She's putting her to sleep. So I'll be watching that on my own. That's about it. Still just poking around. I still want to watch the Knives Out Glass Onion. That one looks like amusing. I like the first one. So
Yeah, I do want to check that one out as well.
but no, other than that, just looking forward to some of the new stuff they got coming out. Super Mario Brothers, obviously in April. That looks good. Wonka looks interesting. There's some interesting ones that are coming out. I mean, obviously, I'm not entirely thrilled with they're doing a bunch of remakes, which I like. I don't know. I'll watch them eventually, but it's not something I'm like jumping up and down for.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel you.
but yeah, I think it's look decent.
Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing what's to come. So, and then I think that's pretty much it, man.
That's all I got.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time.
Till next time, Rich.
I want to thank y'all for rocking out here on the Sports Sidebar Podcast. Give y'all something to ride out on.